in food authenticity and fraud detection. As we are all aware, food is very important sector not only for India, all over the world. The government, the regulators, the industries are very much concerned about the food. And in India, we used to get the news that there is some, there's some fraud or some type of adulteration is there. So this topic of Professor Neeraj Kant Pandey will be very good, very attentive, and I hope that this will help not only help the industry but will help the students and other participants how to check the fraud in food. We have with us Professor Neeraj Kant Pandey, who is a retired scientist from BIS. As we see, I cannot speak more about him. His name is enough. He is an ex-BIS. He has a lot of two or three laboratories. He is running. One is in Bombay, one is in Ahmedabad, and at some other places. He is working in the field of RMP, CRM, and PT provider. Sir, thank you very much for accepting our request. I know that you have done a lot of work and I cannot speak all the work. It will take at least 1 hour to introduce you. Thank you very much. I would like to only say these two words. We have with us our Honorable Shri Biyandeshi Director, sir. Sir, would you like to speak two words?
Yes, 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 yes.
Please, sir.
So, uh, Sri Pandeji, today
Good
expert
morning,
of
sir.
the program, good morning, and Sri Astoshi, Director Legal Metrology. Thanks that today the program is again continued on this Saturday, and today topic is very interesting. That is the role of metrology in food. Uh, Measurement and the deduction, etc. Its quality and all that very things. So when was I was director, I visited uh, food standard of authority many times, and I was member of various committee in BIS also. Uh, so everywhere I was known some figures in BIS as well as in food also. So we were giving lecture in FICCI, CII, SOCM and other places. So people were asking along with the metrology about the food also. Because whenever you are talking the weight and measure, the weight is also used for the food measurement. So whatever the quantity has been sold, that net quantity has to be declared. Along with that, there is lot of the things regarding the ingredient. That ingredient should be also written on the food items which is sold and which is likely to be used directly in the house. So in that very ingredient, the FSCI role is very important and our role is regarding the net quantity and all that very things. Laboratory, we were putting the roles regarding the standard weight and all that very things. In particularly industries and so many other places, they had the quality laboratory also. So in that also they have to show the standard weight and the balances and all that very things. High accuracy balances, how to be calibrated, how to be certified and all that very things is required there. So there is lot of important of the metrology in the food measurement and its fraudulent activities. The legal metrology is everywhere and Ashutosh Agarwal is the director. He may play lot of the role along with the Dr. Pandey in conducting the various seminar and awareness program to bring the status of the food, good quality of the food in the market for the consumers. We say that the consumer is king, but the consumer is king when all the things are very right. One of things in our country is very important, that is the metrology. The standard of metrology is still to be upgraded to the highest level so that we can compete with the European countries, Japan and America. So while we are exporting our product, in spite of getting the OIML certificate for the weighing and measuring instrument, the quality of product and when we are sending there, so that creates a lot of the problems. So those very things we may check through our the best implementation of the metrology as well as the legal metrologies. So that industry has to be adopted, and the people have to kept in mind that what is the importance of the metrology. Each and every measurement plays very important role. So that one day today or tomorrow, if the industry will think on the metrology, there will be lot of changes, and one day there will be tremendous changes in the quality of the product. With this very word, since the Dr. Pandey is there today to express the views and all that very things, so I will express in very short, and I wish for the success of the program, and I wish Dr. Ashutosh also to lead the program every Saturday and found expert like Dr. Pandey so that such programs will be always successful. Thank you, Astoshi. Thank you, Dr. Pandey.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir. Thank you for
Thank you,
kind
sir.
and motivating words. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Dr. Pandey. Please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and good morning. And first of all, thanks to Dr. Ashutosh ji given me this opportunity to discuss on this important topic on the food authenticity and fraud detection and help of metrology, how to improve overall, health and quality of our food and agriculture. So, Dr. B.N. Dikshit sir has already explained extract of the purpose of this kind of requirement in our country. So, I just start this my topic, role of metrology in food authenticity and fraud detection. Uh, uh, just in this presentation, I very basic content I have kept at this moment because it's a so vast subject. Uh, Especially food is and agriculture is a so big and vast subject. Lot of issues are there. Lot of possibilities are there to take the help of metrology and improve the overall quality and domestic and export both. So I covered the what is the requirement of the safe food, what is the safe food especially, and food fraud, food authenticity, food regulation, and how metrology for food quality and safety is useful, and how the in general everybody can take a small requirements and improve their day-to-day life for the checking the quality of the food. So this is I tried to understand. This is the a very important topic, especially metrology for the food quality, and I am making my efforts to understand each and every one. Those who are not, even though much related with the food, uh, domain, but I have tried my best to keep the very simple things, not included very critical data or many other aspects. So first we will try to see the safe food. As we see with the growing population of our country, nearly it's reaching to 1.45 billion. Indian food law is intently focused on strengthening food security and increasingly on promoting nutrition and food safety requirements. And as we see, a lot of definitions are available, but more prominent and important definition of the safe food is that a product which is free from microbiological, chemical, or physical hazards. This is a very simple definition. Another definition, we can say a product that does not cause illness or injury when consumed as intended, or more uh, official definition, we can say FSSAI has given unsafe food means an article of food whose nature, substance, or quality is so affected as to render it injurious to health. So one of the same thing, all definitions are almost having a same meaning. If we talk about the safe food, we have to understand the trend and demand for safe food. As the population is growing 1.45 billion, nearly we are reaching to that level, and the education level and the middle class income is increasing, the more important, everybody is demanding what is the safe food. So as per the definition, we can say the high quality and high nutritious food is the safe food, we can say. And nutritious labeling is the used as a guidance to the select the food. Whenever we are going to the market, always we see label, whether this label, what they are claiming. So in that way, we say that this is the safe food. And if we see about why the foodborne diseases are increasing, I think it's a very interesting cause. And I personally feel if we can consider that particular cause, then a lot of changes are possible. The cause is that attitude. Our attitude is either it is a producer, either it is a processor, trader, and consumer. All the level, we have to change that attitude. We think how we can make our quality of the food better, either in the processing, even the raw material processing, even the cultivation stage, harvesting stage, then packaging, transportation, and till consumables. So this attitude is one of the major concern where we have to see a lot of issues are coming up because of this attitude. And that is the big challenge to the regulator also. And just for understanding what is the food quality and food safety. Food quality is a nutritional content, health benefit. That is the food quality, and free from any pathogen, toxins, allergens, residue content, contaminants. That is the food safety. So these are the two terminology are important to understand the safe food. And if we see the contaminant, what are the contaminants? There are normally categorized in the three category: physical, chemical, and microbiological. And very important to see when these contaminations are taking place in the food, because from farm to table, lot of stages are there. For example, when the food are grown, harvested, transported, stored, packaging, processed, and marketed. All the stages are possible. There are quite possibilities this food can be contamination. And contamination is not a one source, maybe many source or one source also. So it's a rigorous study is required to control all these things. So this is a big chain. So food is having a kind of complex matrices because variety of foods are there. Thousand varieties are there. So it's always a challenge to the regulator. The really food is contaminated from which source? So if we understand the food from where it is traveling, then it will be more helpful to the regulator to control the quality. So we'll discuss on that further. If we talk about the contaminants, microbiological contaminants, lot of contaminants are there. For example, total bacterial count, anaerobic spore counts, yeast and mold, coliform, and many more. Okay, so there are n number of pathogens are or bacterial contaminations are possible in the food. So it is a big challenge because the storage, the packaging, environmental conditions, the food nature, morphology itself having a lot of challenges, and it gets contaminated through any source or any way. So the challenge is always there in the food, especially from the microbiological side, ki how to preserve the food, how to maintain the food, packaging challenges, especially in the case of perishable food. That's why the sometimes cost of the food is quite increasing, because a good brand and good quality of the food always keeping there in mind how to protect microbial contaminants from the food. So microbiological always a big challenge. And similarly, the chemical contaminants always a big issues, like chemical residual contaminants, pesticide, antibiotic residue, drugs, food and additives, polyaromatic hydrocarbons, polychlorinated biphenyls, dioxins, etc. Adulterants. It is unauthorized preservatives, colors, chemicals. Many of the food which are processed, industries are adding the colors. There are certain colors which are allowed with a certain permissible limit in the food grade color, but many of the color are not allowed with a certain limit, even though it is a food grade, or they are bad, cannot use that. But as you see, our society or populations are not that much aware about the quality norms or various other norms. That's why a lot of issues are coming up and health issues are there. So additives and also many times is a culprit if it is not within limit. Approved additives, food content material packaging, especially the packaging is one of the major issue, because the cheap and reasonable price, they want to compete with the market. So many manufacturers, different manufacturers, they are keeping the low quality of packaging, and because of that the food is contaminated. And toxic metal, lead, arsenic, mercury, cadmium, these are the very common issues always faced by the regulators and the exporters and domestic level also. New age contaminants, these are new challenges are coming up, like acrylamide, benzene, dioxins, PCBs, ethyl carbamate, nitrofurans, and very recently, if we see nuclides, especially this is radioactive contaminants with the surface water, it comes from the water, or sometime food is for the preservation point of view, uh, doses of the some radioactive doses are giving for the preservation of food. Sometimes it is more than it is harmful, and mostly it comes from the source itself, the soil of the certain places. Because I am also involved in the different training program of the Ministry of Jal Shakti. I have seen the water source in India, in some certain places, the certain level of contaminants of the radioactive elements in the water. Maybe it is not too high, but it's not advisable to be, it is prescribed limits se thoda sa zyada hai, it is little more. And now one more is the PFAS. That is another big issue where the lot of contaminants are coming up, and in that global trade, this is more controlled. And now see another contaminants, naturally occurring toxins. Normally toxins, we feel that it comes from the chemicals and all, but not all toxins comes from the man-made sources. Many of occurs naturally, are found in the food plants. For example, mushroom, shellfish, and some other sources also. Exotoxins and mycotoxins are the common issues in the food. In addition to the disease caused by the direct bacterial infection, Some foodborne illness are caused by the exotoxins, which are excreted by the cell as bacterium growth. Mycotoxins are secondary metabolites produced by the microfungi that are capable of causing diseases in human. And this mycotoxins is a very common, we have seen in the various grains, spices, even though at home in the food also, sometime if it is a old bread and food items are kept, some fungal growth is there. It is the same thing. Sometime we have seen the peanut is a bitter taste. Okay, that is because of the mycotoxins, and it is a very high carcinogenic. And allergens, it is another big issues. Now the more people are allergic to the various kind of things like the milk, egg, peanuts, seafoods, shellfish, soya, wheat. Okay, so these are another requirement where the food to be tested and labeled properly uh, for awareness of the consumers. This is containing so and so. So legal metrology role is very, very important in this situation. Another contaminants is the antibiotics and veterinary drugs. And avoidance of the antibiotics residue in the food is essential in the production of the safe product for human consumption. But many of the cases, antibiotics doses is quite high, especially in the poultry, honey, shrimps, and meat, dairy product. So all cases, if there is no proper education and no proper guidelines, no proper systematic process and procedures are available, if no training is available to the producers, then this is a big challenge. Antibiotics are quite high because in honey, the farmers, they are giving the high dose of antibiotics to prevent their bee not to infect with the any other disease. The similarly cow, animal, and many other those who are milk producing animals, they are giving the high doses of antibiotic for prevention of the diseases. But the dose which is prescribed, normally it is not educated. Many of the animal keepers or farmers are not aware, and they are giving the high dose, and it comes in the milk only. So it is another challenge. So the another one is the hormones, because artificially administered hormones in the animal to get the more output, like in the milk, maybe in the weight of the animal. This is another big challenge. Genetically modified food, GMO, is another big challenge. It's nowadays in India, it is a lot of studies going on whether this is to be accepted or not, and lot of papers have been published, and many other countries, they have already fixed, if it is GMO product, they will not accept it, and it is cannot be exported. So more GMO crop are maize, soya, cotton, brinjal, etc. Now the scientists or many other farmers or many others communities, they are industries, they are working to develop different type of seeds for the prevention of disease and GMO seeds and all. So this is another big challenge. If we see the apart from the contaminants in the food, nutritional label is also important. Total carbohydrate, dietary fiber, sugar, protein, vitamins, calcium, total fat, and trans fat, cholesterol, sodium, minerals, and all compositions are there as per the label claim normally. This is another important requirement to be checked in the food. If we see all these situations, contaminants and essential requirement and quality of the food parameters, then food must have the regulatory compliance. Then we can, as a consumer, we can say the food is safe. So regulatory compliance is very, very important to maintain the quality, to ensure the food industries provide consumers with the wholesome and safe food, to inform consumer about the nutritional composition of food, to enable fair competitions among food companies, to eliminate economic fraud. And as we know, there are two important category of the food. One is the food regulations. One is the domestic and import controlling authorities. Those who are the FSSAI, FDA, BIS, and Export Ministry of Commerce, where is the EIC, Export Inspection Council, and APIDA. They are the major concern of the export related uh, any food and agri commodities. If we are exporting from India, then these are the controlling authorities as per the regulations of the importing country. For example, US FDA, if we are exporting any things to the US, if something we are exporting to the Europe, then European Union regulations and all. Production units and food business operators must ensure regulatory compliances to maintain food safety and provide wholesome, high quality product for human consumption. As the challenges are always there, then it's all possible to check the food from the uh, competent laboratory. So who is the competent laboratory which comply with the requirement of the ISO IC 17025 as well as the regulations, mandatory regulations? For example, majority of the food in India now controlled by the FSSAI. So everybody, those who are involved in the testing, they must meet the FSSAI requirements. BIS mandatory certifications requirement, few cases. Now very recently, most of the food product controlled by the BIS now managed by the FSSAI. So many of the cases, it's not a mandatory, it's a voluntary requirement of the BIS compliance. Similarly for export Inspection Council, APIDA, FDA, okay, and as per the importing country regulations, for example, EU and US FDA, the laboratory must meet the requirement as per their scope and as per their intended purpose of that laboratory for which is established. And if we see the challenges faced by the food regulator, this is the very basic: profit first, health second. Many of the food processors, food handlers, food traders, they are not thinking how we can have a better quality, wholesome quality of the food to reach at the consumer level. Their more interest is to get the profit. So it is a big challenge. And regulator always feel and they are facing the many common issues like unauthentic claim, false claim, especially organic and ethnic produce, misbranding, unsafe, substandards, extraneous matter. So this is always a big challenge to the regulator, how to protect and prevent all such things and consumer safety, especially safety of the users. We will see what is the food fraud. Food fraud basically the intentional misrepresentation, tampering, or substitution of food ingredients or packaging for economic gain. Food fraud can also include making false or misleading statement about a product. And because of the food fraud, it's directly affect the consumer health, economical losses, and reputation of the industry, degrade food quality, and ultimately we cannot develop the brand. So if we really committed to develop a good business and develop a brand and make the healthy society, then such kind of fraud we have to prevent. And this is really a challenge. Food adulteration, normally we are talking about food adulteration. It's not much different with the food fraud, but Adulteration could be a unintentional also and intentional also. Unintentional, as I told, from the harvesting, it's coming from there. Okay. Processing, processor doesn't know that this could be possible. The processing technique which is used by the processor is not very good in the terms of it can contaminate the food. So sometimes unintentional is a accidental also, but intentional is the really a big challenge. So intentionally debashing the quality of the food by either adding or replacing the food substances with undeclared alternative components or by the removal of the some valuable components, this is the adulteration. This is usually done to lower the cost or increase the bulk of a given food product. So this is another big challenge. And we also try to understand food contamination. Sometimes food contaminations not intentionally and sometimes intentionally also. The undesired presence of harmful or unwholesome material in food. This alteration of food quality as a whole is a major concern to public health and is a fact that is all too often unknown to the consumer. So it can be from the air, from the machinery, storage, water, ice, packaging, plant, waste, employees, food handling, raw material. From where it is coming, we are not aware. That's why the metrology role is very, very important at each and every stage. We will have a discussion further on that. Global food trade and challenges are always there. Importing countries' food control agencies ensures that food imports will meet food standard. This is the importing country requirement. As the trade is increasing, difficulties to arise because each country has established law and standard independently. And this is the major challenge. Our law in our country is different. Another country where we are importing or exporting law is different. Hence, the harmonization of the food quality and safety is different. This is a really big challenge. So I will discuss one example for that also. This is the very, very important food defense. Everybody, those who are involved in the food safety and food quality or food related activities, the protection of food product from intentional contamination or adulteration. This can include biological, chemical, physical, or radiological agent. Food defense also address concern related to physical, personal, and operational security also. Food defense protect the food supply from the intentional harm and disruptions to the economy. Combat food fraud and strengthen food defense, the industry implement strict regulations, share information, adopt advanced testing methods, and educate consumers. This is really wonderful requirement if everybody can, those who are involved in the food activities, they develop their own food defense plan where each and every stage measurements are playing a vital role. Food authenticity, when we talk about the food authenticity, the process of verifying that the food product is genuine in its original form and meets its label description. It's important because it's help ensure food safety and quality and protect consumer from fraud. Food authenticity is a concern for producers, regulators, and consumers. High value food that go through multiple processing steps are often targeted for fraudulent labeling. Consequently, the number of reported food fraud cases are increasing. This is always a big challenge. Now, the lot of systems are developed and implemented by the various importing countries like the developed country like Europe, America, Japan, and many other countries also, how we can establish the authenticity of the food. Some important techniques for the food authenticity are for the chemical analysis, DNA analysis, isotopic analysis, spectroscopy, mass spectroscopy, hyperspecial imaging techniques, sensory analysis. Food authenticity testing can help determine the origin of the food product, which can help ensure it was produced ethically and safely. For example, isotopic analysis can determine if a product has been fraudulently labeled as being from a specific region. For example, tea, coffee, honey, etc. These are the more critical commodities. Now, we have to check and see how the metrology can help to prevent all such fraudulent activities and ensure that food is authentic. Metrology plays a critical role in food authentication and the prevention of food fraud by providing accurate, reliable, and traceable measurement standards. It ensures compliance with the regulatory requirements, enhance consumer trust, and safeguard public health by verifying the authenticity, quality, and safety of food product throughout the supply chain. That is more important throughout the supply chain. Metrology important role to ensure necessary scientific foundation for accurate measurements and analysis for food safety and quality by ensuring traceability of the result through standardized methods and reference material, thus combating fraudulent practices in the food supply chain and start from each and every activity like productions, process, aggregations, distributions, market, and consumers. So this is the complete chain is we can monitor and ensure that food is authentic. In the food industry, correct analytical technique ensures that measurement taken for the food quality control, safety assessment, and regulatory compliance are consistent, traceable, and precise. These are more important. Either we are the manufacturer, we are the processors, we are the quality control laboratory. Everybody try to understand their material product is consistent, result are consistent, traceable, and precise. The three terminology are slightly more having a big, uh, you know, uh, their value. It is difficult to describe everything at this short time, but everybody, those who are in the manufacture, trading, and testing must know this consistent, traceable, and is precise. This is the real metrology requirement in the food. We have to see the measurement standard and traceability whenever we are using in the food testing or food authentication. Need to ensure that measurement standard are globally consistent, allowing for food product to meet safety and quality requirement internationally. Each measurement is traceable to a primary standard, providing confidence in the accuracy of the result and facilitating reliable comparison, which are critical for the export, import, and consumer safety. So this is the traceability requirement in general. If we see international standard, that is the ISO IC 17025 2017, one clause is there, clause 6 resource requirement. Under that sub clause is 6.5. It is clearly indicating metrological traceability. This is applicable, this is standard for the testing and calibration laboratory. This standard clause says metrological traceability. The laboratory shall establish and maintain metrological traceability of its measurement results by means of documented unbroken chain of calibration, each contributing to the measurement uncertainty, linking them to an appropriate references. So ISO guide 99 is quite giving a lot of definitions, and we can refer that if somebody is interested to want to see that in detail. So this is the one more important clause and requirement of the international standard ISO IC 17025, where the testing laboratory, maybe it is in-house testing laboratory, or maybe commercial testing laboratory, or maybe government testing laboratory, must ensure that their measurements are metrologically traceable to the SI unit. I am just talking about the one important and complex example of the peanut export, where the 2 microgram per kg aflatoxin, this is called 2 ppb MRL in peanut, EU regulations, where the 20 kg of sample we have to take, that is the sampling requirement, and analyze. The technique is the HPLC FLD technique, high pressure liquid chromatograph technique. Fluorescent detector we are using, where the 1 microliter extract of the sample is injected. In this situation, you see the high level of metrology and precision required. I will just, in a nutshell, I will let you know how it is going to happen. First, we have to have a plan and process must be reviewed and approved as per the standard method and regulatory requirement. Now you see the challenge, 1 microliter injection on an HPLC or LCMS authenticating minimum 10,000 kg of product and minimum 10 crore of value. So this 1 microliter is approving our 10-ton material, or the value may be higher or lower, or the value of maybe around 10 crores is accepted or rejected, is really authentic or not authentic. So this is the 1 microliter, how we can ensure it is representing to the 10,000 kg. So in this case, we have to see the critical steps. Critical steps are, for example, sampler analyst competency. We have to see those involved in the sampling and the analysis must be educated, minimum education qualification as per the regulatory requirements, must have the training and authorized for that work. And sampling process validated, where the equipments, method, packaging, environmental conditions must be ensured and authenticated, calibrated wherever calibration is required. Sample transportation condition, where the environmental condition and stability is very, very important to check there is no deterioration of the material. And sample storage facility, environment free from contaminants and all, we have to check and maintain. Sample preparation, where the quantity, temperature, grinding time, speed, all we have to monitor, control. These are the all having the proper traceability, each and every step having a traceability. Quantity, how much quantity we have to should not exceed, must be thermometer must be calibrated as per the procedure and as per the standard practices. So there will not be any challenge. Further, extraction of the sample. Now it's a very interesting, when the peanut is analyzing as per the methodology as per the regulation, the 20 kg material, 20 kg peanut to be grinded with the 20 kg of water. So 40 kg slurry is making. And out of 40 kg, that the grinding, timing, temperature, everything we are controlling. From there, we are taking maximum 100 gram of sample. And 100 gram of sample, we are taking 25 gram of sample. Out of 100 gram, we are taking 25 gram sample for the extraction purpose, solvent extraction. And different processes and critical processes are there. I'm not describing all the process. Then this extraction technique is another is a control mechanism where the sample size, temperature, calibration, solvent quantity must be extraction process validated. So here the high level of matrix mesh CRM is required. Then another is the sample analysis where the HPLC, LCMS, MS, whatever equipment we are using, we have to check the sensitivity, calibration, and must be validated. And finally, data interpretation, software validation, data integrity. So this entire process is very complex. It's not so easy. The similarly, various food commodities are also exporting and all require the similar kind of methodology to ensure that the food is free from contaminants, residual contaminants. So 1 microliter injection in HPLC or LC mass authenticating a high volume of product, maybe 10,000 kg, 10 ton. So each and every step must have the control mechanism managed by the qualified and experienced team and maintained all equipment with the desired specification, must have the proper calibration each and every step, must have the matrix match authentic and traceable standard also. And many other things are there. I don't have much time to discuss each and everything, but the similar things are happening in the almost residual analysis in almost food and agri commodity everywhere, where whatever commodity we are using, the similar techniques using. If we see the traceability and analytical measurement, for example, led in food metrics by ICPMS, everywhere, each and every stage, we have to maintain the traceability and measurement must be accurate, reliable, and traceable. For example, preparation the standard solution, instrumental measurements, calibration, sample treatment like sample weighing, extraction, preparation of the sample solution, dilution of the sample solution, instrument measurement, calculation, and result. This is the entire process must be, and each and every steps must be accurate, reliable, and traceable wherever measurements are taking place. But most of the either in the processing industry or analytical field, everywhere measurements are there. Like in the processing industry, formulations are there. We have to have a proper formulation. Processing equipments are there. We have a proper controlled equipment like size, temperature, humidity, many other things. We have to see whenever we are calibrating our equipment, the matrix match calibrant is very, very important, and matrix match control sample standard is important for more precise and reliable data. This is the big challenge where I am working on that. We are making the certified reference material. We are trying to develop the more matrix match reference standard to help the industry. So overcome with the challenges. So good quality of matrix match CRMs are very much required. And this is my organization, Ashwi Technology LLP Ahmedabad. We are making the BND and CRMs, and we are developing all these matrix match CRMs also. It's a big challenge, but we are making our good efforts. Now, the similarly process and method validation required the uh, means when we say the method is validated, a lot of challenges are there. How we can say this is really validated? Check the measurement result in terms of validity. Is there any method specific bias or systematic error in the method? So this is all encountered in the when we are producing the data and when we are calculating the uncertainty during the validation. We have to ensure uh, what is the accuracy of the result. So this is high level of precision and metrology requirement are there. We have to ensure that matrix match study is essential when we are validating the method. Because suppose we are analyzing the pesticide analysis on LCMS-MS or GCMS-MS, we are using the peanut, and another case we are using the wheat, another case we are using the vegetable, all or milk, honey, all different matrices are there. We have to validate the method. Equipment is same, but methods are different because technique is same, but the extractions are different. So impact on the each matrix is different. So in such situation, lot of challenges are there. How we have to validate the method matrix bias. So this is the high level of CRM requirement, matrix match standard requirement, and measurements are critical in such situation where the uncertainty plays a important role. CRMs or BND, Bharatiya Nideshak Drav, when we are making the Bharatiya Nideshak Drav with the support of the CSIR NPL, the Ashu Technology Ahmedabad, we are educating to users, and we also mentioned in our certificate the validity of the reference standard depends on the number of factors, including the stability of the CRM, container and closure system, storage condition, hygroscopicity, physical forms, how the usage, intended use, and all such things we have to check periodically and maintain the record and ensure the CRM is valid and having the same accuracy. Because whenever we are working on the food matrices, it is a big challenge. We don't have any calibration system. Calibration is, we have calibration with the fractions. For example, temperature calibration is possible, weighing balances calibration is possible. But as a whole equipment and method on the LCMS, GCMS, ICPMS, or many other techniques is not possible without certified reference material. So certified reference material or BND must have the authentic and very systematic approach to maintain the integrity of the CRM or BND. So this is a big challenge. Many times the laboratory is doing good, performance is good, and many times the industries are performing very nicely, but the sample is failing. And because they are using the CRMs and CRM are not kept properly, because they are comparing their result with the CRM, matrix match CRM or pure CRM. In such situation, if CRM is deteriorated, then the result will be deviated. We cannot say our results are perfect. So it is always a authentic, robust and competent analytical infrastructure is must for assurance of the food safety and food quality. Hence, the laboratory must responsible expectations from the test. We are having a more expectation and responsibility of the from the laboratory. Hence, good laboratory practices are mandatory, and compliance of ISO IC 17025 is also mandatory with the regulatory compliance. This is really a quite big headache also. But if a systematic approach we are maintaining, training we are getting properly, and application support from the equipment supplier if we are getting properly, then absolutely it is a very comfort. Initially, it seems as a complex, but once we involve and a systematic approach we keep in mind with the higher level of metrology, with the higher level of regulatory requirements, with the compliances of the regulatory requirements, then we are definitely confident. Yes, it's not difficult to achieve all these things. So reliability and accuracy is one of the challenge to the testing laboratory where they can achieve comfortably with the help of ISO IC 17025. For understanding of traceability, this is very important for the student, for the industry, for the testing laboratory. This traceability chart they have to understand. And this is beautifully defined the how the traceability is coming up. As the traceability is high level, the uncertainty is very minimal or zero. As the traceability chain is increasing, the uncertainty will be high. So this type of approach we have to communicate to the industries how higher level of metrology they can maintain in their measurement. And the process control and measurement, especially in the manufacturing unit, also important, where the raw material they are buying from the vendors and they are analyzing and processing, and in between intermediate checks of the processing product, processed product they are checking, and finally output of the final product. So these all entire system where they are maintaining the either in the process, maybe the formulation, in the different techniques they are using for the making of that product, and quality control practices must have the proper traceability. And this traceability will give a assurance that my product is having a good quality and meeting the regulatory requirements. So many times the we have seen this is the gap, especially MSME sector. They are not understanding much about the importance of the metrology or traceability, their system, which needs more calibrations or validations. This kind of important information, I think we have to educate them to improve their quality. They are excellent. They are doing best job, but somehow some kind of input we have to provide them. This will help a lot to give a assurance your product which you are producing is completely matching the quality and regulatory requirements. So this is to be standardized and percolated to the small sector, especially large scale units, um, multinational units. They are doing it. They are doing in their practices that they are authenticating their entire process. Now, production unit need to understand measurement are metrological traceable to the SI units. So whatever they are instrument they are using must be calibrated from the accredited competent laboratory. Many of the calibration agencies, those who are not accredited, their authenticity and their capability is a question mark. And valid certified reference material they have to use or direct realization of SI unit ensured by the comparison directly or indirectly with national or international standards. Analytical metrology in food testing, for example, nutritional content verification. So metrology enables the accurate determination of nutritional components like protein, fat, carbohydrate, vitamins. Reliable nutritional information build trust with consumers and help meet labeling requirement. Contaminants and residue detection, as we have just discussed one example, the peanut requirement. Precise measurement are vital for the detecting contaminants, for example, heavy metal, pesticide, mycotoxins. Metrology provide the tool that and reference standard needed to the accurately detect even trace amount of contaminants, ensuring food quality. So in such situations, we have to see how our metrological traceability we are establishing to ensure our output is accurate and reliable. Similarly, in the microbial safety, So microbiological standards are required to having a kind of traceability where the different type of microorganisms uh, analyzed by the testing laboratory. So uh, many of the techniques are established where the traceability is possible. Certified reference material and Bharatiya Nideshak Dravya BND must be produced in a compliance with ISO 17034 and in a manner that validating the lab testing methods. In the food industry, CRM help verifying the accuracy of the test of nutrient label, contaminants, and other properties. So compliance of ISO 17034 is mandatory. Then we can say these are valid CRM, or otherwise we have to use the BND. So when we are making our BND, it is all with the support of the CSIR NPL, National Physical Laboratory, and we have the compliance of ISO 17034 from the NABL. When we are making just for understanding CRM or BND, it's a high purity material. It is each and every stage is traceable. Long-term stability, homogeneity, short-term stability, and we are using the primary method to characterization of the property value of the reference material. So this is highly, controlled manner. All these CRMs or BND are produced having a high level of accuracy. So with the help of this CRM and BND, the industry can take a lot of advantage to authenticate their process and quality of the product. So BND improves the laboratory precision, perfection, presentation, and confidence. Role of BND is vital for the food and water quality at each stage. For example, source, vendor authentication, purification, processing techniques to be validated, packaging suitability, storage conditions, supply chain, ensures quality and safety at user end. Another important role in the proficiency testing, where the testing laboratories are more see their competency by participation in the proficiency testing. The Ashvi proficiency testing in Hyderabad, they are running the food and water PT programs as per the compliance of ISO IC 17043, where many of the cases CRM we are using, or maybe the incurred material we are using, authenticating the assigning the property value, and then distribution, and then we are getting the result from the lab participants lab and evaluating. In such situations, CRM certified reference material is playing a vital role, where the precision accuracy we have to maintain each and every stage of the for each and every scheme of the PT proficiency testing. Legal metrology is also very important role for the industries and the concerned food business operators, where the science, legal metrology, is science of measurement and the associated legal regulations and requirements ensuring the accuracy of fairness of the measurement that are used in the production, processing, distribution, and sale of the product. Where the FSSAI, Food Safety Standard Authority of India, advisories, time to time they are issuing the advisories for the key judgment related to the food safety and regulatory compliances, where each and everyone, those who are involved in the food activities, must follow it. For example, recent advisories are ensure strict rule on antibiotics in food items, new shelf life guidelines for e-commerce and quick commerce entities. For example, ensures strict rule on antibiotics in food items. Yes, this is already maybe the certain other contaminants they have recent regulations they have published. Lot of judiciary issues are there where the legal metrology department, they are claiming or catching the fraudulent people or those who are involved in the malpractices. A lot of cases are available. So this is another important requirement where the each and everyone follow the legal metrology with respect to their requirements, what they are preparing and producing. Labeling and consumer information, for example, allergen testing. Metrology aids in the accurate detections and qualification of allergens, which is critical for protecting consumers with food allergens. Country of the origin and adulteration detection, correct technique and test of the product, authenticity, origin verification, and the detection of adulterants, ensuring that consumers receive safe and authentic product. Sensor calibration, with the growth of smart packaging technology nowadays, lot of sensors are coming where real-time monitoring of the food quality monitoring programs are managed by the producers, food producers, where the temperature, pH, and gas compositions they are analyzing. These sensors can be calibrated and ensure that they are accurate and provide reliable data. Advancing innovation in food safety, for example, nanotechnology and biotechnology, where the post-harvest, genetic engineering, plant growth, agrochemicals, stress mitigation, yield and quality, all everywhere, the metrology or measurement helps to the industry. This is the new technology now in the field of fertilizer or maybe um, pest control, where the organic food they are producing, the nanotechnology is playing a vital role, especially in the agriculture field. Similarly, the system compliances, for example, ISO 22000 food safety certification system, where the food safety management relies heavily correct and precise data. Measurement accuracy support hazard analysis and critical control point HACCP programs, preventing hazards in the food chain. So food chain is a quite big, starting from the harvesting to the consumer table, where each and every stage a lot of control mechanisms are monitored, maintained, and assurance of the quality for the assurance of the quality. In the trade, the certain commodities are more sensitive. Like recently, the water is declared by the FSSA is the very sensitive commodity. And other sensitive commodities in the trade, for example, if we see the certain sensitive commodity like milk, spices, honey, are really a big challenge nowadays. As we have seen in the recent past, a lot of samples are failed. Significant challenges with the quality and safety compliances. For example, milk, last time, very few months before, it was monitored by the FSSAI, many samples are failed. Like the similarly spices for the ethylene oxide, ETOs was the issue recently in the export trade. Honey, it's a widespread adulterations are taking place in the country. So these are the things where the lot of challenges faced by the regulator and also industry also, where the and ultimately consumers. But consumer are is not aware about, they are seeing just the brand name and the packaging, it's okay, they are consuming. But the regulator and the industry and academia, where I personally feel all three together join hand and come forward to ensure the quality of the food and health of the consumers. If I am a regulator, I am a academia person, if I am a industry, it is my moral responsibility. We have to take the responsibility and take the help from the regulator or from the academia, from the research institutes also to improve my quality. This is the olive oil case where the lot of global challenges are there. The global trade of the virgin olive oil is often subject to adulteration. Fraudsters mix lower quality oils such as the soya bean or sunflower oil with genuine olive oil, yet marketed in a as it is a pure. Because olive oil is a very costly oil. The economic impact of the such fraud is significant, affecting both consumers and producers who rely on the fair pricing and authenticity for premium product. Similarly, the honey trade is another area where the authenticity is a vital. The adulteration of honey with the sugar syrup or mislabeling of origin, for example, selling honey from one country as originating from another, can severely impact the trade market. Metrological tools ensure precise measurement of the honey composition, helping to verify its purity and geographical sources. Similarly, in the wine industry's metrology is essential for the confirming the authenticity of the expensive wines. Analytical techniques supported by the metrology, such as the isotope ratio mass spectrometry (IRMS), are used to analyze the ratio of the specific isotope to verify a wine's geographical origin. This is the very important, and the cost of the wine depending on the which country, which origin, which agro commodities it is produced. This ensures that the wine traded as originating from prestigious regions are genuinely from there and not counterfeited or misrepresented. Milk, the similarly coffee trade, the seafood, all are the challenges. Meat product, fruit juices, organic product, spice trade, all these are the having high challenges. And fraud detection is also now shaping a new dimensions. New technologies are coming up, but I personally feel those who are the fraudulent, they are more advanced. So we have to place each and everywhere the metrological requirements mandatory. Legal metrology is mandatory. That really gives a quite better assurance to the consumer. Use loss if measurement are not traceable. This is very interesting. The wrong, inaccurate measurement can lead to mismanagement in farm inputs, rejection of export consignment, or incorrect labeling, resulting in financial loss and waste. Similarly, fake reports can compromise product authenticity, safety, and quality, causing legal penalties, loss of consumer trust, and market recall. Collectively, these issues contributes to billions of dollars in economic loss annually, food insecurity, and negative impact on global and domestic trade. So some important analytical technique like FTIR, LCMS, electrochemical sensor, GCMS, ICP-MS, HPLC, NIR, NMR. These are the certain techniques, PCR, by which we can authenticate and ensure the quality of the food. This is one of the good technique must be used by the industry, and many industry they are using. The use of the blockchain technology in the food trade is being combined with the metrological techniques to ensure that the traceability of food from the farming to the table. By recording every step of the supply chain on a blockchain, combined with the precise measurement and verification at each stage, this helps combat fraud and ensure sustainability, protecting both consumers and honest farmer, processor, and trader. So grower, processor, supplier, manufacturer, retailer, each data and traceability, if we can establish, then the consumer will be happy and healthy. So I am summarizing my certain extract. The across food industries, metrology serves as a cornerstone for ensuring the authenticity and safety of the food product in global trade by utilizing precise measurement, certified reference material, calibration, validation, and advanced analytical technique, stakeholders can combat food fraud, protect consumers' trust, and maintain the integrity of the domestic international food market. Metrology helps to in the food detection, adulteration detection, verification of the origin, species identification, and quantitative analysis, where we are analyzing various contaminants as well as the quality parameter both. Challenges we are facing, especially in the complexity in the detecting of the fraud in the complex metrics. So more sophisticated and advanced instruments are required, need for the advanced analytical tools, and globalization of food supply chain. So across the border, we have to ensure that authenticity of the food, so better and smooth trade is possible. Role of legal metrology is very, very important, where the all regulatory body must ensure the good labeling and trade standards and implementation of ISO 17025, ISO 17034, CRMs, ISO 17043 also, Codex Alimentarius, food standard for the safety and the quality of the food, and FSSAI, BIS, or various importing country regulations. So this is another important requirement. Also, the future trend and development, we have to work on that. Maybe the new researchers, they have to work on this digitalization of the metrology, role of AI and machine learning in fraud detection, blockchain for the traceability, advancement in isotope analysis, emerging technology and standards that will shape food fraud detection. Metrology plays a crucial role in harmonizing local and global food quality and trade, enabling the establishment of the laws and standards independently and effectively for better economy of any country. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. It was a brief and wonderful presentation I have seen in my life. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Really obliged with your kind presentation. And certainly, sir, we will be in touch with you, sir. If we will be in touch, and certainly I will take your more help for different sectors. Even I have shared your number with few of my friends. They will contact you directly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Raunak ji, photograph आप ले रहे हैं for the social media platforms?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, sir, kindly share your presentation after this,
Yes.
and I will
Yes.
share it with all the participants.